Rupa Huq.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I never met the late Majesty the Queen, but I have been in her garden. And she was a unifying presence, wasn't she, for all of us? And her loss leaves a huge hole after a remarkable, iconic 96-year life. Recent years have seen her starring with Paddington Bear and James Bond, which demonstrate her sense of fun alongside the sense of duty. But for me, memories of that remarkable reign start with 1977 and the Silver Jubilee. I remember my 5-year-old mind being blown by the fact that I was sitting eating cake in the middle of Pitshanger Lane, a very busy thoroughfare in Ealing. And it was transformed for my first ever street party. I went to dozens more as MP for her Platinum Jubilee. She was a constant, comforting presence, whether it was from her early days as Princess Elizabeth telling evacuated wartime kids not to worry, right up to, by the time she'd mastered Zoom, her COVID reassurance with the same message to a worried nation. And her remarkable reign spanned 15 prime ministers, from Churchill when she was just 25 years old to her 15th this week when she was obviously the older and wiser one, current PM half her age. She's head of state to 15 other nations. She oversaw transition from empire to Commonwealth. But for locals my age, it'll always be 1985 when she opened Ealing Broadway, shopping centre that we remember. It felt that half the school had bunked off for it, except for square old me. And many classmates who pulled a sickie got rumbled when the teacher saw them on the evening news. But she couldn't get too cross, in the same way as actually this year I actually requested for my sixth former son that he be let off lessons for the Queen's garden party, and the teacher allowed it, making his absence part of the lesson that they were doing on constitutional monarchy, which of course she personified superlatively. Her seemingly endless, limitless work ethic and workload that continued 2 days until her death. But the signs were there, that non-attendance at the last garden party and the Queen's speech, both delegated to the King. Even sceptics who came into her orbit became converts, like Kieran Gavin, Mayor of Ealing in 2002, when she came to Gunnersbury Park for the Golden Jubilee. He said, "I asked if she was ever tempted to take the head off while knighting with her sword someone she didn't like. She replied it'd be totally inappropriate, but she might nick the neck a tiny bit if it was one of those people she found really irritating." He told me that she was charming, witty, smiley, utterly delightful company. Kieran said, "I'm a Republican, but I became a huge fan. If she ever stood for election, I'd vote for her." We will never see the likes of her again. She trained as a mechanic in the war, had children from the 40s to 60s who kept the line going, presided over UN and Commonwealth summits, and was genuinely beloved. End of an era cannot sum up 70 years. But as one Elizabethan era ends, another begins. It'll take some time of getting used to new stamps and coins in time, but may she rest in eternal peace. God save the King. Yeah.